Let's go. It's the two dudes and our attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking, so let's do this. We're Bryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. The 5-star broadcast, shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes with the attitudes to bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.
It's Two Dudes with Attitudes, a wrestling podcast, and this is the AEW edition, which your boy Ryan enjoys wrestling and the Heartbreak Dude Denton. And it is the end of the week. It is a jam-packed PLE weekend, and it is the last weekend without football. It is beautiful. Unless you like college football starts tomorrow. I'll be rocking my UCLA gear hard AF. Take that, NC. But yes, how you feeling about it? You excited for college? You have your fantasy teams all lined up. What you doing?
So actually, last night I'm in North Carolina, and last night was the start of college football season for 3 of our local teams. We did.
You guys got spanked, right? Sorry, I didn't.
No, we barely won. The Tar Heels beat Minnesota.
They won. Okay,
yeah, they won. It was like a low scoring game, but we lost our quarterback.
That's okay.
Yeah, and then NC State, our other local team, played, and they almost got upset by my alma mater, Western Carolina. And then there were some other schools that Wake Forest played, and but yeah, really, Duke plays tonight for some reason. So college football's already started, man. Like, but I'm excited. It's a great time to be alive for football season.
Well, I'm a media hyped idiot, so I was went to after work, went to a bar, OG's, and went over there to watch the Colorado game. And I'm like, why the hell am I buying it? This guy, and everybody's like, oh, his son now is like a number 1 pick. I'm like, he played let's see him play against real people. I'm not saying he's bad, but
they almost lost that game too.
Yeah, they should have lost that game. And even homeboy was like, Dion was like, dude, we sucked. I don't even want to talk about it. Like they're going to win 4 games this year again. So they're not. And I feel bad because Travis Hunter will be a stud and his son will be a good player, but just not a number 1. Oh, get out of my face with that. He's playing nobodies. Let's see how he does well. But I'm a UCLA fan, but I'm not looking forward to the season. I know some UCLA babies are excited, but Deshaun Foster, the coach, he had that embarrassing press conference and he did We'll see. I mean, I'm just glad Chip Kelly's gone. That guy was never good. He was just carried by Oregon in his days, went to the NFL and sucked, came to UCLA and sucked even worse. Our offense was not that great. So, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. I'm glad he's gone. And UCLA now is in the Big 12. It's interesting with a lot of good effing teams. And we're playing like the Nebraskas and
really weird.
It is weird to see them like us, SC. It's just like a
and
weird,
we're in ACC country, and we have California in the ACC. We have Stanford in the ACC.
Oh, so they didn't all go to the Big 12. Okay, so they split across. Got it.
Yeah, so like Stanford, but 2 California teams are coming to the Atlantic. They're 2 Pacific Coast teams coming to the Atlantic Coast Conference. Like, make that make sense. In addition to Notre Dame, it makes no sense.
What is the make sense? Because my thing is UCLA now has to travel more. SC has to travel more now to play in the Big 12. How much money are they? Is it primetime games? Because UCLA plays Hawaii tomorrow and they're on CBS. So UCLA versus Hawaii, who gives a shit about that matchup? And it's on CBS. So is that the deal? Is it money? Is it
it's money? Yeah.
Is it just you get paid more when you have bigger Big 12? Yeah. Like the Pac-10 the Pac-12 was a big deal. So I don't understand. Now it's the Pac-2? The Pac-12?
I don't even know if it, right? It's just the bastard pack. Let's just call it that. Yeah.
We'll talk
future
about
AEW International Champion pack.
Oh, interesting. But anyway, I'm excited for football. And my Rams, I'm telling you right now, we're going to put it to the Lions. I don't understand the hype for the Lions. I've seen people on ESPN saying they're going to go 14-3, 15-2, win the Super Bowl. What the fudge are y'all? We beat the Lions last year, and we lost by 1 point. 1 point in the wild card round. It was bad calls. If you go back and look at Rams, should have won that game. We're going to smoke the Lions. Telling you right, the Rams are the sleeper team in the NFL. It's the Broncos year. Just you know what, the Patrick, because welcome to the live.
Yeah.
They might be okay. It's not their year, and he knows that. But I can see the Broncos
I'm a
playoffs.
Yeah.
I think their rookie quarterback's going to be pretty damn good.
I hope so, man. I really hope so, because we have Zach Wilson as our backup. So I'm like, we got rid of one Wilson and got the Temu version of Russell Wilson and Zach.
But you won't worry, because Bo will do just fine. I forgot you guys are both Bronco fans. Yikes!
Yeah,
they play the Rams. There's another time you should come down. Us three should
that'd
get
be
together.
fun. Yeah, we should do that.
Watch the Broncos. I don't think we played this. I'll have to look at it. This year, I looked at SoFi games, and they all start at $300. I'm like, who the hell? Because we're playing all these big time teams that bring in money, like the Raiders and the Packers and the Cat. I'm like, what this freak? I have to wait for the Arizona Cardinals every year, so it's like $60 to get in. So at least I can sit close. But yeah, so all right, you ready to get into some AEW? We got a jam-packed show, so we got kind of. We believe nobody is using that right now. We talked about our last episode, kind of, Patrick, so you can chime in then. But we're gonna do All In, Dynamite, and some segments and our LVDs and MVDs for this week, and we're gonna get prepared for this weekend, man. This week we have had so much wrestling in the past few. I mean, it's just nonstop. The fact that No Mercy, why are they doing a PLE for NXT but not in the same country and play? Usually that's what they do. If they're the same weekend, they're together. Yeah. So why did they not? They're NXT too much for plane tickets, or
I think it's more they're getting ready to tour, and I think they want to see how they do. They want to maybe work out any kinks, because they're getting ready to week to week start touring. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. That's kind of my opinion on it. They want to see how they do as a standalone brand.
Got it.
And doing it on Sunday. Thank God they're doing that one on Sunday night. We got to go back to these night PLEs.
Yeah, I'm so sick of this. Ugh.
And I appreciate them going to across the pond and over into Europe and giving those audiences something to do. But we need nighttime pay-per-views back. And Sunday nights. I want to go back to Sundays. Saturdays just don't do it for me.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's get into it. All in. And AEW fans out there, I know there's a lot of hardcore fans that watch this podcast. Don't hate me after this week's reviews. All right, let's get into it. So we are doing our 2 thumbs with attitudes. For every pay-per-view and PLE, this is what we do. We'll go through each match and we'll give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. The criteria is simple. If we think it is a B- or better, it is a thumbs up. If we think it is a C or less, it's a thumbs down. So we could give a thumbs down to a match that is good. We just have high standards here. So to earn our 2 thumbs up, ladies, you got to be good. You got to be better than a B, homie.
That's right.
You want those C and D. Oh, wait, no, that's the other way around. All right. So we like our girls flat. All right, let's get into it.
Like our
All
Earth.
In. Our Earth is flat. That's what Kyrie tells me.
That's what people say.
Love seeing those things. Oh my gosh. I don't want to get into it. All right, let's get into it. We're gonna go in order. First match of the night was the BCC featuring Pac winning the trios titles out of nowhere versus the Patriarchy, House of Black, and the Bang Bang Gang. What do you give it? Thumbs up or thumbs down? This ladder match. It was a ladder match, by the way.
Yeah. It was a good match. I enjoyed the match, but I'm gonna go thumbs down. First of all, we didn't need the BCC and PAC to be added to this. I don't know why they put them in this match. I know it's to get everybody on the card, and I appreciate that. But the story you've been telling over the last month has been Patriarchy, House of Black, and the Bang Bang Gang to kind of further their feud. And the Bang Bang Gang had the trios championships. Jay White got hurt. They got stripped of the titles. Christian Cage and the Patriarchy took out Buddy Matthews, and so there was already a built-in story. And then they randomly added this third team. There's fourth team rather, the BCC with PAC for some reason. And not only do they add them on the last episode of I think it was Rampage or Collision, going into All In, but then they win the match. So and we'll talk more about this when we get to Dynamite, but BCC, we have Claudio and Wheeler Yuta, but Bryan, are they still part of it? Is it still fair to call them the BCC? Because Jon Moxley's doing his own thing now. Bryan Danielson's doing his own. I don't even know. And PAC now has an international championship shot. So match was good. I just didn't care for the story or the build, so I'm gonna go thumbs down.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to agree with you. It is a thumbs down. I saw a lot of people saying this match was a B. I did not see it. What else threw me off was the short little ladders. It was like
The ladders were
normal
very
little
small.
people ladders. Like the thing. Why was it because of the arena? The way they had it. I don't know. And once again, like you brought up, is Pac replacing Mox? Is that what we're going to find out soon when we talk about Dynamite? Or is he just rolling with them? Here's the thing. People are like, well, they did it because Tony Khan felt bad for taking away his international title shot in his hometown. Okay, cool. But what happens on Dynamite doesn't explain that. It looks like we're already moving past. So this was stupid. And people said too, the patriarchy, because what happens later on with Chris and Cage, still stupid. You can have both. So, and if that's going to happen, then give it back to the House of Black. Also, why did you give it to the patriarchy 2 weeks ago if you're just going to have them lose it? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I was not for any of this booking. I was not for the match. I hated the winner. Like you said, 3 months of build between the patriarchy, House of Black, and Bang Bang Gang. 3 straight months of build just to have none of them win or be relevant. Get that. What's House of Black? Go to WWE. I don't know what the hell you all are doing in AEW.
Well, they just signed Buddy Matthews to like a 5-year deal too, and apparently
they don't need him. Move on.
Apparently
he had a jealous ass in AEW. Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, Tony Khan forced him to." I'm like, "No, he didn't." But whatever.
Him and Ricochet can have conversations about how their women leave them. All right, next match. You ready? Let's get into the beauty of wrestling, and that is Mariah May winning the AEW Women's Championship by defeating Toni Storm. You better give this 3 thumbs up, homie.
Oh yeah, this might be one of the only few thumbs up of the night. This was probably my favorite match of the card. I didn't like the placement of it. I feel like this should have opened the show. If you're gonna, especially if you, I know we had the BCC and Pac win the treaty, but this is one of the biggest stories that they had. And usually you want to open with a big moment and you want to close with a big moment. And this is one of the best stories that AEW has ever told, from start to finish. The right person won. The match was good. Toni Storm looked great. Mariah May looked fantastic. So I'm going to say big thumbs up in this match.
A wise man once said, who is no longer wise anymore, Chris Jericho, that you either go first or last. But with that said, you never go second. Second is the worst card of the bill. Why would they put the most this was more anticipated than Bryan Danielson and Swerve.
Oh, 100%.
You put this match. So you either put this match first or you put Will Ospreay and MJF first. You don't put BCC versus Pac in a lackluster ladder match first. Stupid. Either way, 2 thumbs way up. Mariah May was fine. I'm glad her bleeding wasn't over the top. People were like, oh, she should have bladed better. No, you don't need to bleed. She's a beautiful woman. She don't need to be wrecking her face. Perfect. Toni Storm delivered. The match was awesome. Everything was good. Loved it. 2 thumbs up. After this match, I was like, all right, here we are. Let's go all in. Let's go. And then it was followed with Hook winning back his FDW title versus Chris Jericho. If Patrick's still on here, Patrick, where did your goat go? Hi, Patrick. It is awful. What do you got?
Thumbs down already. I mean, I like Hook, but he wrestled for the FTW championship last year in the opening, in the 0 hour match of All In. And that led to the whole CM Punk fight against Jack Perry. And now this year he's wrestling for the FTW championship again in their biggest show. And he hasn't grown. He hasn't advanced. He hasn't moved up. He hasn't done anything. And in the match, I couldn't get into it. So if any match should have gone second, it should have been this one.
Sorry, Jericho.
I know
This is easily the second worst match of the night. Big thumbs down for me. Big thumbs down. Second worst match of the night. And Patrick, I know you put how dare you guys, and I know we got our boy Robert over here chiming in. But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Jericho, like I've said on this podcast many of times, has had 30 different characters of himself that he has portrayed. Every single one of them has been good, except this one. He needs to drop it. This shit is whack. It's not catching on. People don't like it, and his matches have suffered from it. And I don't know if it's because of his character, because he's trying to wrestle differently now, because that's what he does, because he is a the Daniel Day-Lewis of professional wrestling. But it's just, this isn't it. And this match was awful. I hope he moves on, which will go into Dynamite. But adding Taz into this made it even worse. It was just all atrocious. I wasn't for it. The only good part was that Big Bill was loved at Wembley. Holy shit. Wembley
that crowd.
Big freaking Bill, man. He was all about him.
Yeah. He was super over on Collision too. Yeah, he was. Yeah, good for him. Good shout out to Big Bill.
I agree. And Robert, I agree. Tony Storm's length was long enough, if you know what I mean. So it was good. She did her part. Mariah May needed a win. Let's move on to the tag team title match. We got the Young Bucks defending their tag team titles against FTR and the Acclaimed, and the crowd was done. This crowd didn't recover after this. It took a while for them to get over this. And the poor grizzled young vets came out and nobody gave two shits because people were so mad that the Young Bucks won. Explain one, thumbs up, thumbs down. Secondly, explain to me why the Young Bucks are still winning tag team matches. The Elite aren't important anymore. They just aren't. They're not a thing at the moment. So
no,
like the Bucks just aren't loved. Go ahead.
Yeah, thumbs down. The result was the wrong result. The match was okay. It wasn't as good as the Acclaimed versus Young Bucks match that we've had a couple of times now. It was nowhere near as good as FTR versus the Bucks. The match was just kind of okay, and then it just ended. It wasn't even like a big spot or anything. It just ended, and I was like, huh? Wait, what? The match is over, and then the grizzled young vets came out, and at first I was like, "Who are these guys?" But then, but we've already seen them on AEW a couple of times. They've wrestled on Collision, but yeah, I mean, I don't understand. Like the result, the match, whatever. The match was the in-ring wrestling was great, but just the result and everything, and the way the match just went, I'm gonna go thumbs down. And it should have been the Acclaim. The Acclaimed have been doing really good work. Like more feeding more into their heelish side, being a little bit more serious. And for what the Young Bucks, the biggest complaint is that the Young Bucks haven't defended their tag team championship since they won them at Revolution, and this was their second or third defense since then, and that was in March. And now they're on a part-time deal with AEW apparently, or they're on a kind of the Roman Reigns contract where they can show up whenever they want. So why are they the tag team? I don't get it. I really don't get why they won this one when they won this match.
And the AEW hardcore crowd didn't get it either. It was pretty embarrassing. No. The match was okay.
Yeah.
But it wasn't good enough to get. I'm not saying this was a bad match, but it's still a thumbs down because it doesn't hit that 80% mark. And the poor, Schism come out and who, once again, Tony Khan, I get it. You think Ricochet's a thing. You think the Schism's a thing. You think all these people who were mid-card wrestlers in WWE are a thing. They're not a thing. No. I'm sorry. Even you think Ishii's a thing. He's not a thing. That's why he gets no reaction. These people aren't things. So stop. You want to build this company? Bring in stars. And I'm not talking about they have to be The Rock. I'm talking about just people who people enjoy to see. Yeah. We'll get into Mercedes money soon too, because I think she's also not a thing, but we'll get there. But yeah, thumbs down.
I was joking. I sent you a text when the Grizzled Young Vets came out, and I was like, they should try to redo Schism in AEW and have them have the GYV join the learning tree, and now you have 4 roots and 1 learning tree.
Brilliant. I love it.
Whatever. I don't work for AEW.
Yeah. I don't.
Tony Khan's gonna. He watches this show. He's gonna take this idea, and they're gonna be in their learning tree next week.
Yeah. Well, he does listen to us. All right, I'll write for Tony Khan. Book me up. It's better than that other guy who's on TikTok trying to say he can book for AEW. Get the hell out of here. The guy can't even book himself into a date with a female. All right, next up, we got Christian Cage. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yes.
Christian Cage wins the Casino Gauntlet match, and Ricochet has a mediocre debut. What do you got? Thumbs up, thumbs down? You might be surprised by my answer. Let's go.
You might be surprised by mine. I'm gonna go thumbs up. I like this battle royal a lot. It didn't take long. I was worried when they were like, we're gonna have a battle royal. Usually they're like the longest matches of the card, and they're kind of it's kind of the P break. And to a degree, this one was, but I like that Christian Cage won. I like that he came out. I like that he was still selling the injury the effects of the ladder match earlier in the night. He he didn't just come running out there. I like the whole lucha kill switch bit too, where he kind of helped him win. So yeah, I liked all of that, and then the Ricochet. The one thing I was disappointed in though was the Ricochet debut. It felt very just like, hey, look, Ricochet's here, and then he doesn't even win, and he felt like he missed a few spots and he messed a couple things up. But other than that, thumbs up.
Yeah, I hate the Casino Gauntlet matches. This is the match where
I don't like them
you
either.
can win it before somebody can enter into it, and it's stupid. But with that said, this was probably the only one I've ever liked. I give it a thumbs up. It got hit like 81% in my opinion. And I like Christian Cage winning. I think he's the right person decision to win. I don't like that now we have a new number one contender, which we'll talk about on Dynamite. Darby Allin waiting as a number one contender, and now Christian Cage waiting it. So now we have 3 people already trying to fight over the overbooking. This is what happened to Pac. You can't just like have that many people just bundled up, ready to go. It's stupid. But with that said, match was still good. I like Luchasaurus. I don't understand why they just randomly changed his name and then he didn't turn. I don't. But they did Christian Cage approve that. Yeah. Well, we'll see. But also, I am so over this. We have to move on. They either need to be on the same page or Luchasaurus needs. This has been going on for 5 years.
Oh, it's going to happen.
So flipping over it. Turn and move the fudge on.
Going to cost him the championship.
Anything, but I cannot deal with this anymore. We need to move on from it. All right. 6th match of the night. We have Will Ospreay winning the American title, which got turned back into the international title versus MJF. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm going to go thumbs up. I like this, man. I mean, we knew we were going to get an instant classic with these two guys. And it wasn't quite up to the level of their 59-minute and 58-second match they gave us a few months ago on Dynamite. But it was still a really entertaining match from start to finish. I mean, these guys are great. I mean, they know what they're doing. They didn't need any rehearsal or anything. The one thing I didn't, the Daniel Garcia spot was a little awkward for me. Just because I completely forgot about him, and maybe I was texting you. I was like, Adam Cole's going to come out, and we're going to get MJF and Adam Cole. We're going to get a healthy Adam Cole as he's coming back, and then I completely forgot about Daniel Garcia and that whole angle. So I didn't see that coming. So it was kind of nice, but him like with the hood on and his face, I was like, why are you like? I didn't get that.
That's all they do. Yeah.
And then there's always a ref spot, a ref bump to allow this interference and stuff. But other than that, I mean, minor things aside, match was great. And, Will Ospreay he gets his international championship back. He can go on to other things. And I like that MJF and Daniel Garcia will compete without a championship on the line. I think it's a good enough match. It's a match that doesn't need a title.
Yeah. And we'll get into that on Dynamite. But this match in general, I did like it. I give it a thumbs up. It was, in my opinion, it wasn't an instant classic. Like you said, they could have had a better match. I thought there was too much going on. There was like 3 ref bumps, multiple people interfering, people coming out. There was just like too much to make it great. But nonetheless, still a good match. Awesome entrance by MJF and so on. But crowd was hot. Right person won. But once again, why have MJF even win the belt just so they can have the match at that point? Why not just save this match for then?
And why change the title?
Had a 60-minute. Yeah, I don't understand it. It didn't make sense. The crowd wasn't hot against MJF because he was an American. And we'll get into Dynamite because it's already over that. It was just weird looking. This is why Tony Khan shouldn't allow the wrestlers to have a lot of say. All right, number 7, and in my opinion, well, we'll get there. Mercedes Moné defends her TBS title versus Britt Baker, D.M.D. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Oh, thumbs down. This match just, I don't know. The placement of it felt weird. Britt Baker looked fantastic, of course. I'm glad she's back, and hopefully it's for forever, and not just for like a one-stop shop and we don't see her again. Talk about Dynamite, but I don't know what it is about Mercedes, but something's just not, it's just not working. It's not clicking. I did like that she's kind of leaning more into the heel side of her character, so I am liking it a little bit more. But just I don't know. I don't know if it's the Camille thing and all that with her. Just something is just not working for me with Mercedes, and even her wrestling just isn't very good. I mean, I thought Britt Baker did the best that she could, but she also looked rusty. I mean, she hasn't wrestled in 2 years, and you put her out there in the biggest show of your year for probably one of her first matches back. And yeah, and also something else that I feel like AEW did that dropped the ball, but they brought back Jamie Hayter on the pre-show. And I felt like to take on to beat up Saraya for some reason. And instead of Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker have history, maybe you could have had Camille beat down or Mercedes beat down Britt Baker, and you bring back Jamie Hayter for that. And then now you have another story going on, and you can extend this feud. So that's how I would have done it. But again, I don't work for AEW, and this match itself was just another meh match for me. So thumbs down.
Yeah. And this is exactly why Suplex Media should do it, because this is exactly how you would have booked it. This was atrocious. Here's my thing, right? Is that, and yeah, I got beef with Suplex Media. Here's the thing, right? Is that Mercedes Money or Sasha Banks. I've always liked her. I've always dug her. Number one, she's smoking hot, right? The end. Number two, she's related to Snoop Dogg. And number three, she's always had that like aura around her. But two things she's always lacked, no matter what, and I think this is why WWE never pushed her like Becky Lynch, like Charlotte Flair, and let her go, is that she isn't phenomenal in the ring. She's never been phenomenal on the mic. She just isn't that person. She just isn't. And so it's now showing, and it bums me out because Britt Baker has been waiting her entire career to wrestle these WWE all-time greats. And the first one she gets is Mercedes Money, Sasha Banks, and it's a dud. Thumbs down. Worst match of the night, in my opinion. It sucked through and through. I feel bad for Britt Baker, and we'll get into that later on the show and what I think Britt Baker needs to do. But yeah, pretty sad. And Mercedes Money definitely didn't follow it up on Dynamite. We'll get into that. Let's get into match number 8. We have the one, the only, Dylan McKay's son, Jack Perry, defending his TNT, pretty soon going to be named the Max title, versus Darby Allin. And we have a return from Sting. It's Sting. It's Sting. I can't feel my fingers. He can't feel his fingers.
I think he took his wallet.
You need to get all of those shots. We need all those clips, please. I think he took his wallet. We need all of them. All of them. It's Sting. I can't feel his fingers. Think it took us what we need these. But anyway, Jack Perry defends his TNT title in about 8 seconds. Thumbs up or thumbs down? What you got?
Thumbs down. This match, I completely forgot it was even on the card. And I was just like, when have they wrestled already? Have I missed something? Was it on the pre-show? Because I didn't watch the pre-show. So I was like, did they? And then all of a sudden there it is. And then it was over in a flash. I'm happy that Jack Perry won. I didn't think Darby Allin needed to win the TNT championship, but at the same time, you just made him the number one contender, if you will, or he's wrestling Bryan Danielson at Grand Slam. So why is he losing right before that happens? I don't really know. And then the Sting return was a little awkward. Like, is he back permanently now? Is he going to wrestle again? Was that retirement all a sham? It actually kind of made me mad when he came out, because I went to his retirement match and I thought the way they did it was fantastic, and they sent him off in style. I hope this was just a one-off appearance, but even then, why didn't he come out before the match ended? Why did he come out after Darby Allin was in the coffin? Either way, I just didn't. This match was a dud for me.
Third worst match of the night. Thumbs down, big time. I'm glad Jack Perry won. That was the only positive. Before we get into the main event and move on to Dynamite, I have to say, and I think I've talked to you about this before on this podcast, the thing with AEW pay-per-views, and I get that they always have great matches, although I don't think this card did, and I think this is probably one of the worst AEW pay-per-views I've ever seen. But all in all, pay-per-views are going to feel less and less important when you give pay-per-view type of things on Dynamite every single week. Shit, even Collision gets blood and big time. You can't, I don't care what you do. Say you're in a relationship and you get busy 5 times a day right? Sooner or later, getting busy isn't really going to feel special, and it's probably going to get a little boring. I'm sorry, just as human beings, too much of anything is a bad thing. And I know people crap on the WWE PLEs and always say, well, the match quality isn't as good as AEW, and they don't go 35 minutes each and blah. Sure. But you know what? When Roman Reigns returned, it felt good.
It's a big deal.
When matches happen, it's a big deal because we don't get it all the time. You have these matches. You had Jack Perry literally almost get burned on a Dynamite. Last pay-per-view, he did get burned. We have all these things happen that are way bigger, and then they have a coffin match and nothing happens. And even if something happened, what's going to tickle my funny bone? Nothing, because I see this on Dynamite for free. Tony Khan needs to realize that you don't have to put in the entire bank, everything on a Dynamite. Build up to it so the pay-per-views feel more special. I just feel like all these matches, I just wanted to talk about that before we get into Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland, that it's just when every match just feels like a match that could be on Dynamite, it doesn't make the pay-per-views feel special. And that's what's missing in AEW. You need to burn more story instead of having 30-minute matches on Dynamite every single week, multiple times, because it brings down your pay-per-view quality. With that said, this match had nothing going for it other than Jack Perry winning. The end. Let's move on. Even when he threw him in the body bag, put him in a body bag, he put him in the thing, and I was like, oh, well, this isn't over. And then it closed, and I was like, oh, it's over?
No, that's it. Yeah, that's how I felt. It was just like, that's all they gave us? Okay.
And Sting coming back made me mad. You just retired 7 seconds ago. I don't even care if you're not. Then announce what you're doing, and we'll get into that with Jon Moxley and Dynamite. If you're going to transition somebody completely, then tell us beforehand why he's there. Announce, say, oh my gosh, he's going to be here. Is he going to manage Darby Allin? Let's see. Like, the announcers could have given us anything instead of just going, it's Sting, he can't feel his fingers. Like, I don't want that. I want to know why the hell Sting is there. Tell me that Sting's not wrestling anymore, so at least I can be excited that, okay, is he going to be a commissioner? Is he going to be another Christopher Daniels? Is he going to be Darby Allin's manager? Like, what's happening? Now I just think, well, now he's Ric Flair, and he's just going to have more matches after his retirement. Like, AEW needs to do that better as well. All right, we got to move on. Let's get into this main event. Bryan Danielson wins and has a bigger moment than WrestleMania by defeating Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Title. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I think this is easy.
Yeah, thumbs way up. This was my favorite, probably my second favorite match of the night. I still like the Tony Storm, Tony Storm Mariah May match a little bit better, just in terms of the story and everything. But I mean, the wrestling and everything in this match was fantastic. We talked about Swerve last week and how he's kind of the everyman. He can wrestle every sort of style out there. He can, he can be a high flyer when he needs to. He can be technical when he needs to. He can be a grappler. He can be a submission specialist. And then Bryan Danielson, I mean, we all know his resume. He's one of the best in the world. And, I wasn't a big fan of Swerve's championship reign ending so soon. I feel like he just won the thing. But I think he had a decent reign. And hopefully he can win it back before the year goes up. And maybe he's the one to retire Bryan Danielson for good. But either way, I love the match. It was a great moment for Bryan Danielson winning not only his first world championship in AEW, but his first title in AEW, which I think is pretty incredible that he's done all this stuff. He's put, he has done what a lot of people wanted him to do, which is come in and put young talent over. And I feel like he's done a fantastic job of doing that. So it's nice to see him, see that hard work get paid off finally with the world championship run.
100%. Great moment. Great thing. We'll get more into his WrestleMania comment, but everything that went on with it was fantastic. I still think Swerve should have won, but Swerve still did his damn thing. Does not diminish his championship reign at all. It's still probably the second best, in my opinion, right behind Kenny Omega, better than MJF's title run. But Bryan Danielson, good moment, good way to end. The match is fantastic, but this is another prime example of what I say. These guys have these matches on Dynamite. Doesn't feel special when you have the same damn match every single week. It's just they kick out of finishers, kick out a finisher. Can we please stop with that, please? Can WWE, Triple H, AEW, Tony Khan, please? I'm gonna make a shirt, bumper stickers. Please make finishers important again. I hate that finishers are like no big deal. Finishers are just finishers. It like pisses me out. We need a wrestler, by the way, who also doesn't pin people unless it's a finisher. I want a wrestler who never pins anybody
Oh my
until it's time
gosh.
to pin somebody. I am so sick of like pin after pin. You're not gonna win off a clothesline. Don't pin him. It's not happening. It's never happened in the history of wrestling.
The best part is when they get their shoulder up after like they hit him with a clothesline. They pin him 1, 2. They kick out, and the guy's like, "What? How did he kick out of my clothesline? Like, what do you mean? That was a slow." Like they're like arguing with the ref about it. I'm like, "You hit him with a clothesline."
Yeah. I jumped on him and fell on him. Come on, that's a 2 count. Get out of here. Either way. All right. That's our make finishers great again. I half like that, the Patrick. I'm glad I know what you're voting for in November, but I do half like that. Yes, sir. I love it. I always call poor Patrick out. Every time he puts a comment, it always gets backfired on him. Poor guy. What was it at the one? I forgot what it was at our watch along, and he said something, and he just got attacked. He literally disappeared for like 30 minutes and was texting me like, hiding. Should I get back on the comments? That was embarrassing. I'm like, you're okay. We're doing shots. It's fine. All right, let's get into it. Patrick's actually a very phenomenal human being, by the way. Like one of the kindest people I've ever met. So it's sad.
I enjoyed meeting him. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Hopefully he's trimmed his beard a little bit. All right, let's get into it. Dynamite. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
I was told by somebody on TikTok this was the best Dynamite episode ever. Let's go. Jon Moxley opens the show fully shaved. He wants Darby Allin and tells Tony Schiavone, "This isn't your company, man." Okay, cool. Then he leaves. Mark Briscoe tries to speak English. Hangman Page defeats Ishii. You heard that. After the match, Swerve Strickland comes out and doesn't care he lost the title and wants a cage match at All Out. Cool. Jamie Hayter, who looks completely, are you sure that's really Jamie? You know how they have like conspiracy theories where like they say like somebody died and then like somebody else replaced them? I'm pretty sure that's happening. She does not look like, get me a before and after and post it on. I do not think she looks like Jamie Hayter at all. I'll continue with my things while you do that. The Learning Tree. Hi, Patrick. They're with Roderick Strong, and Jericho doesn't care that he also lost the title. No one gives shits about titles in AEW. MJF is here for a promo. He says he's no longer an American, and Ospreay cheated. Daniel Garcia attacks him from behind, and security breaks it up, and they'll have a match at All Out. Hook and the conglomeration defeat the Learning Tree and Roderick Strong, even though Strong's legs were literally under the rope, and Aubrey Edwards jumped over his leg after counting 1, 2, 3. It was a really freaking weird moment. After the match, the Kingdom attack Hook, and it looks like we'll get Hook and Strong later on for the FTW title. Mariah May cuts a promo. It's probably going to be a good one. It's not. She's wearing a black robe. She opens it, and she's wearing something way more covered up than I thought she was going to be wearing. She has her belt. She leaves. The Grizzled Young Vets. They want the Bucks next, I guess. Ricochet defeats Kyle Fletcher. After the match, Will Ospreay comes out on the ramp, and he is attacked by Pac. Pac tells Ricochet to get to the back of the line. He has Ospreay at All Out. Cool beans. Jon Moxley's back. He's yelling at some random dudes. I think they're security, and maybe they're his relatives. I don't know what the hell's going on. But out of nowhere, Marina Shafir attacks them, and they leave together. So I guess Renee Paquette's single. Give me a call. Hit me up on my DMs, girly. Bryan Danielson closes the show. Oh, actually, sorry. Oh, yeah. Bryan Danielson closes the show saying he'll go part-time when he loses the title. And this moment was bigger than his WrestleMania moment. Jack Perry pops up on the screen and talks for 4 seconds, and then he attacks Bryan Danielson from behind, laying out Danielson to close the show. And that is the AEW Dynamite review. Did you find that, Jamie Hayter, before we get into it?
Yeah, I think you might be onto something, man.
Are they not different? I swear to everything, they are two different people.
Hang on.
She was fine before, but it's like
she's doing her Becky Lynch impression, I think, because we didn't get Becky Lynch
when she appeared. Yeah. No, you're right. When she came out against Saraya, who's still fine too, I didn't even recognize. I was like, who the hell is that?
Yeah,
it said Jamie Hayter. I'm like, huh?
I'm gonna see if I can find. I gotta figure out how to put images in here, but here, I'll just share my screen. I'll do it this way. Present, share screen. Okay. So this is Jamie Hayter in 2023 when she had the women's championship.
Okay.
And this is Jamie Hayter 2024. Like that's not
the same.
Later. Yeah, a year later, a year and a half later.
Where is she? Where's 2024?
Oh, can you not see it?
No,
Oh,
all I see is
okay.
2023.
All right. Let's get Jamie Hayter 2024. This one. Can you see that?
Kind of. Yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, she looks
Yeah, all of these are.
completely
Yeah, there she is. There's a good one.
okay. And I'm pretty sure she is Becky Lynch.
Yeah,
I
there's
wanted.
even one where look,
I
there's
almost
Becky
made a
Lynch right
TikTok.
there.
Oh, people! I almost did a TikTok where I did like Becky Lynch is all elite when she came out. She even from behind, bro. They have the same ass, same like
All of it. Yeah.
everything. I'm pretty sure that's Becky Lynch, and they just didn't want anybody to know. So they're like, it's Jamie Hayter. I swear to God. But anyway, let's get into it. Where do you want to start? You want to start with Moxley and the weird shit that's going on?
Yeah, let's talk. Yeah.
Let's debunk right now. It ain't fucking Shane O'Mac. Sorry, it's not Shane O'Mac. You can continue and say it might be, but it's not. I'm saying it right now. It's not. Get over it. It's not.
Yeah. So a couple of gripes that I had with it. Number one, why did Jon Moxley get rid of his theme song? Wild Thing was like the thing that put him on the map, that made him. It didn't put him on the map, but it was a great song. Everyone loved it. And when he came out, like nobody knew who like what was going on, because that nobody knew what that music was, and it was just really, really odd.
The whole thing fell flat, in my opinion. Continue.
Number two, what's going on with the BCC? Because we talked about this before, but he comes out and now he's like trying to get a new faction, but he's already a part of a faction who just won the Trios Championships, and now they have the world title. So he's the only one that doesn't have one, but he's not. Is he not a part of them anymore? Like, what is going on? And then number three, it's not Tony Schiavone's company. So why did he say it's not your company anymore, Tony? Like, oh, it never was. Maybe he was talking to Tony Schiavone, like because he talks to Tony Khan on the headset.
I don't know,
but either it was just a very weird moment. And then like the very next, like as soon as he leaves, like they have told us many a time in his feud with MJF and other people, Hangman Adam Page and several others, that Renee Paquette and Jon Moxley are married. And they cut to Jon Moxley leaving the ring, and then the very next cut is Renee Paquette backstage acting like she's not acting like nothing happened, interviewing Mark Briscoe, who's speaking like the Tasmanian devil. So it's very, it's just very, very odd. But I mean, I am optimistically pessimistic. I'll say that because it's a story. They're telling a story, but AEW's track record of telling stories always seems to fall flat. See Tony Khan getting beat up by the Elite. That's kind of over and done with. The Young Bucks were the EVPs and they were pricks. And, we had the Elite running the show, and now they're nowhere to be seen. And then you had the whole Devil thing, and Adam Cole's
ranking system.
Yeah, the ranking system, and the Devil story, which was everybody and their mom was talking about what's going on with the Devil, and it fell flat. The reveal was bad. Adam Cole's been hurt. Wardlow's off TV. The Roderick Strong's teaming up with the Learning Tree, even though he's still part of Undisputed Kingdom.
He said he loved it. He was like, I'm so excited to learn under Chris Jericho.
I don't understand. So I'm optimistically pessimistic because maybe this is a good story, but I don't really know. I do want to say selfishly, though, I do like that they're getting Marina Schaefer involved a little bit more. I think she's a badass. But selfishly, I really hope that they feature her a lot better because Rich Latta he's the rapper who sings all of our intro songs and everything. He does our segments. He does our intro theme.
Props.
He also did her entrance song in AEW. And so I hope that he gets his shine, unless they change her theme like they did Moxley's. But hopefully he'll get his shine with her theme song being featured more on AEW television. So for that reason, I like it.
Yeah, Rich Latta in the host. Plus, Marina Schaefer's hot. Plus, she's married to Roderick Strong, who I do like, although his stupid Adam thing is stupid. Yeah, they're married, dating, something.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Just boning. Yeah, look it up. Yeah, they're 100% together. Here's my thing, right? This whole episode
married since 2018.
Oh, there you go, married. So everything to do with Dynamite was once again what I always say. Dynamite, when they come up with good ideas, they always fell in the execution. And this whole everything we break down, no matter it's 2 things, all things, 4 things, 1 thing, everything is the same. I like what you're doing. I like that's how you delivered it. And this is this. You have Jon Moxley come out randomly, awkwardly. The announcers have knowledge. even Corey Graves does research where he'll say like, oh, I found out that Jacob Patu did blop de bloop de bloop. So at least he like half explains what's like, these announcers are just, and they're usually good. They're just like, oh, what's he doing here? Oh, that's weird. What does he mean? Tony Schiavone then says, I don't know what that means. I don't own the company. Then why the fuck did you say it? If you don't even at least defend it, like, oh, well, I think he's talking about because when the company started, I had stock as a like nothing,
Something,
just
yeah.
like I don't know what he's talking. Okay, well, if nobody knows what you're talking about, then this is stupid. So I like what they're doing. I'm intrigued. I love it. I kind of am excited. Is Jon Mox? Is this going to be a? It's not Shane McMahon. It's not the end. I'll put my life. It's not Shane McMahon. Get over it. But are we going to do an invasion? Are we going to bring in Adam Cole's, Bobby Lashley's, they're both from WWE, Moxley and Shane? Are we doing this where they're over AEW, kind of like the anti of what the pillars were doing, where it's like, no, us WWE guys are carrying this shit. The outside dudes, let's make it happen. Is that what we're doing? Or because everybody featured right now are all inside people minus Bryan Danielson. But why didn't Jon Moxley come out and say, hey, I'm done with the BCC. I'm sick of this crap and I'm sick of you. And once again, Darby Allin, have Jon Moxley and Darby Allin ever communicated?
No, that was weird too.
Is it because of Sting? Then what are we? So is he attacking the pillars? So that's what I'm saying. Like, so if you're going that route, I like it. I like the mystery. Just the execution was just stupid. Like, let me hear some stuff.
Yeah. And then the other thing too, at least can we get some emotion? You know, you had Bryan Danielson cut a promo basically talking about how much this moment meant, and it was a great moment, don't get me wrong, and he was emotional about that. But like, can you play into that story a little bit? Like, hey guys, I don't know, like at least say acknowledge Jon Moxley in your promo. Like, I don't know what's going on with Jon Moxley. You know, I want to celebrate.
Get into that segment. Get into that segment as you talk about it. Yeah.
He made no mention of it. And that's the other thing to me. Like, you know, you have this. So what is next for the BCC? Like, are they still part of the BCC? Did Pac replace Moxley in the BCC? Are they targeting the BCC? Like, what is going on? They didn't really explain it. And then Bryan Danielson gets a live mic and talks about winning the belt at All In, and how he's not when he loses it, he's done, or he'll go part-time. So he's going to be a
part-time. Didn't say retire. Yeah.
He's going to be a fighting champion. And then, you know, Jack Perry comes up on the screen for 15 seconds and he didn't get interrupted by a Taco Bell commercial this time, but he
too bad.
But then as soon as the video goes off, he's in the ring and he beats up Bryan Danielson, and now we're getting a double champion, or a champion versus champion match at All Out in 2 weeks. But I don't know. I just wish that Bryan Danielson would have mentioned, like, you know, hey, build up that story. Like, say, like, you know, we were hanging out with our BCC friends and we saw what happened earlier in the night with Moxley, and, you know, John, I don't think you need to talk to Darby. I think you need to talk to me. We need to, like, at least kind of give us some sort of, I don't know, continuity with it, instead of just dropping it like we're not supposed to know that it happened.
I fully agree. And Renee Paquette too. Nothing.
Yeah.
She's the most uber good guy on AEW. She couldn't have said, like, I don't. And she's talked about her husband before. Heyman approached her. She's even said before where Moxley did things, and she was like, I don't agree. I don't know what's going on with my husband. We don't talk about work at home. She has like made it relevant.
Something.
So say like, hey, like, I mean, I don't know. It was all weird. And go ahead.
Yeah. And then like, as soon as he leaves the screen, they cut to Renee Paquette, and there's no emotion from her either. Just like, hey guys, I'm with Mark Briscoe after.
Hey guys.
Yeah. And it's just, you know, he's speaking like the Tasmanian devil, like trying to. I don't.
Is he trying? Does he speak English? I'm being dead serious. Why? Who in AEW is like, dude, best promo, Briscoe. We need it every week. There's so many better talkers around him. And Renee Paquette with her fake laughing, she's like, you're funny, Mark Briscoe.
Yeah, she shows emotion about that, but nothing about her husband hanging out with Marina Shafir behind her back and potentially starting a war against AEW. Like, I don't know I don't know, but I'm intrigued with the story. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. And I know I talked about this in the last episode, but for you AEW hardcores who only listen to our AEW episode, sorry, Bryan Danielson. This moment was not bigger than WrestleMania. Get the F out of my face with that. You were a person who was better than you were being treated. The audience, brought you into a WrestleMania main event you weren't in. You won and beat 2 Hall of Famers that have one of the greatest moments and one of the greatest storylines, the Yes movement. And you're going to tell me that and way more fans was a less than moment than you winning the AE title versus Swerve Strickland. Shut up. There's one thing I hate in this world, and it's when people are so butt-kissing to their life now. Like, I get it, right? You had an ex-girlfriend, now you have a new one. You have to tell her that she's better than your ex, but to real people and your boys, you can admit the truth. You don't got to be fake, homie. You can say your ex did a lot better than this one. Basketball players, football teams, you don't always have to admit that jobs. You can have a job and love it, but you can still say, people ask me what my best job ever, I still say Blockbuster Video. Best job I ever damn had. If I could have worked at Blockbuster Video forever and made the salary I make now, I would totally still be there, but it wasn't, and it went out of business.
It's going to be around for the longest time. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But that's what I'm saying. Like Bryan Danielson, you can just say this was a great moment. You don't have to keep trying to chirp. This was the greatest moment in the history. No, shut up. It was not, Bryan Danielson. Shut up. Blockbuster for life. That's how I met Patrick. He's been there forever. Yeah, now he's on a new name. But yeah. But anyway, once again, I didn't like it. Let's get into Jack Perry. Here's the thing with Jack Perry, right? I forgot about that. I'm all in on Jack Perry. I think he's cool, and I get that he's only getting pushed because of CM Punk stuff. I get it. But here's the thing. What I don't like about it is that Bryan Danielson said he's going to wrestle until he loses and he'll be part-time. Okay. So with that, everybody he wrestles moving forward needs to be a person who can beat him. I want every match that he has, all of us doubting. He's going to lose this match. Oh, he won. He's going to lose this match. Oh, he won. He's going to lose this match. Oh, he won. He's going to lose this match. He lost. That's what we need to be. Nobody thinks Jack Perry is beating Bryan Danielson. So it's already off to a stupid start. It reminds me of Logan Paul versus Cody Rhodes. Hey, Bryan Danielson, we got nothing for you to do. We don't really want you on Darby because he just lost, and Christian Cage probably is going to beat you. So let's wait for that. So let's I don't know, Jack Perry. How about that? We'll have Jack Perry because he's a champion, right? Yeah. WWE did it with Logan Paul and Cody. So let's do it. Stupid. Bryan Danielson, he finally won the title he's always wanted, and we're starting with this.
Don't get me started on this. This was not a good. I like Jack Perry. I like his character. Yeah. I like that he's the right person for the TNT Championship. He deserved that win at All In. But
100%.
It is a pet peeve of mine when somebody has 2 titles or they have one belt and they're going for the other one. You know, and AEW is doing it twice right now with Pac having the Trios Championship, but in a couple of weeks he's going after the International Championship. And now Jack Perry has the TNT title, and now he's going after the World title. And it's just like, why? Like, why can't you find opponents for the Trios division for Pac to find? I know you promised him an International Championship match. Then don't have him booked to win the Trios Championship. And then same thing with Jack Perry. Like, why aren't you building an opponent for him at All Out? Why don't you have something in mind for him already? Or not? He doesn't have to wrestle at All Out. You know, but either way, it's just, I don't know. He's going to lose because we know he's not beating Bryan Danielson, and that diminishes the TNT Championship as well. So, and
his momentum, dude, is on fire right now. You're having to win, and then you're gonna have him lose. I'm sorry, that hurts him.
It does, it does, and it also hurts the TNT. It makes the TNT Championship look weak because, like, it does look like a secondary championship. Like, oh, he's only good to win the secondary title. He's not quite good enough to win this belt, though. So anyone that wins that belt is not quite good enough, not quite on our level, and I don't like that. I
agree. Let's end it because we got to go. Let's end it with Ricochet. What you think? Let's hear it.
You said it perfectly when we were talking the other day. I don't know if we said it on WWE episode or this one, or if we were just chatting offline. But he is another guy in AEW. You know, he wrestled Kyle Fletcher, and you know, it was flippity doodah all over the ring, and it was good stuff. Don't get me wrong, but 95% of the roster in AEW wrestles the same style as Ricochet. Maybe 2% of the roster in WWE wrestled the same style as Ricochet, and that's what made him stand out. And that's why he had that big viral moment with Logan Paul at the Rumble, because those two guys can do it, and they're probably maybe the two of a very few group that can do it in WWE. So it made it stand out a little bit more. But his debut at All In, I didn't care for. It was just kind of felt random. It was in the middle of the battle royal. He didn't even win. And then the match on Dynamite was fine. It was good, and I really hope that they push him and they utilize him well. But right now I'm going back to AEW storytelling. Like I said about the Moxley thing, I'm optimistically pessimistic with Ricochet. I want him to be utilized well, but I don't know if he will be.
Yeah, not as bad as Mercedes Money, but as a debut wise, but not great either. I saw people online saying he was pushed so well at All In. I didn't think so. It didn't feel impactful to me. And then he wrestled Kyle Fletcher. Who the heck wants to see that? Even though I love Kyle Fletcher, he's just not that dude. And then he literally did every move. He didn't even bring in any new moves. If you're going to go to AEW because you want to be that guy, then give me something new. And like you said, or like I said that you said or whatever, WWE, he felt important because he was it. Him, Logan Paul, there was nobody else. AEW, it's everybody. And he's not even better than all those people. What makes him any better? And then his finisher, you're going to take away your finisher? His finisher was the best thing about him. And he did some stupid weak slam that I don't know what the hell it's called. He didn't do it. He took away his finisher. I think the crowd was numb because of that. They didn't even react when he won because people were like, where the hell's that was your best part. You had shirts of it. Your high flying, it was the 5-star, right? Whatever he did, or it's an amazing move. Why the hell did you take that away? I don't know. I said it before. I get that he wants to hopefully be in title contention. I get that he wants to hang out with all his best friends, but you took away left a thriving company where your fiance is working to leave her to go work at a dying company. And that's not a shot at AEW. It's just facts. And you went over there to do mediocrity. I don't know. It felt really blah to me. And I think I'm going to be right that in 3 months, he will not be on an AEW screen anymore. He'll be like Wardlow and everybody else, where they're Daniel Garcia's, Ricky Starks. They're just disappear, and Adam Cole's, and we'll see what happens. It's just, it makes no sense. I don't know how Tony Khan thought this was winning. Once again, you can't take B-level people and think they're A-level in other organizations. WWE did push Ricochet. It was nothing against Ricochet. He's just not that guy. His position is the dude who does flips and fun moves. He's never going to be a world champion. It is what it is. And there's literally nothing wrong with that. I don't see what he's going to do in AEW any different than WWE. And I feel like he'll be lost in the shuffle. But I hate to end it on a sad note or a negative, but
fully agree. Completely agree. And I hope we're wrong. I hope we're wrong with Ricochet for sure.
True, because I like Ricochet. All right. That was the AEW Weekend Review. I know it sounded like a blump, but we had some positives. And once again, execution. I like what they're trying to do. I get why people said it was the best Dynamite, because they're trying to build some story. It's just the execution. It was like when they had the match and they just threw 4 guys against 4 guys just for fun. And that, we don't need random matches. Build your stories. Get Ishii off my screen. Hangman's better than that. All right. Let's get into I don't know why he's the resident dude to beat. All right. Segment time, my friends. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
We're doing our segment that signed Carlito a contract. Because of this segment is why Carlito has a deal in the Judgment Day, and that's cool. That's not cool. That's not cool. That's not cool. And we are going to do it where we give each other a couple ideas, and we're going to say if it's cool or not cool. As always, we start with the producer. Let's go, Ryan. What you got?
All right. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I'm going to go pretty easy this one out. But Christian Cage, cool or not cool? Christian Cage losing his world championship opportunity against Bryan Danielson due to Kill Switch turning on him and costing him.
Not cool. No.
Oh, where'd it go? I lost the sound. Oh no. There it is.
Can't feel his fingers. That's not cool.
I need to update these now that Carlito's saying that's not cool again. But
right.
This one's from 2003.
But he doesn't really say much about that anymore. But anyway, all right. So he did say never mind. We'll get it.
He did.
He did. That's not cool. I want Christian Cage to win the AEW World Championship off of him, and then have Luchasaurus turn on him and then be his next contender. I don't want him to cost him the championship. I think Christian Cage has done more for AEW than anybody, including Tony Khan, gives him credit for. This man has carried this company in so many ways, and he will go down, I don't care what anybody says, as the greatest heel of all time. This dude that's where he is at.
Yeah,
So yeah,
fantastic.
not cool. Christian Cage needs it, then he can move on to Luchasaurus.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think that's the right call. Christian Cage should be the one. I can't wait for the promos between these two because Bryan Danielson's always talking about being a father, and we all know how Christian Cage feels about that. So yeah, I can't wait for the promos. But yeah, Christian Cage needs to win. He needs to win the world title before he retires.
Agreed. All right, cool or not cool? You ready?
Yes, sir.
Your boy and Dad Hat's boy, Sting. It's Sting. Can't feel my fingers. Sting wrestles again in AEW. Cool, not cool. It could be tag team, individual, whatever you want.
That's not cool.
We don't need to see it. I mean, he had the perfect send off. He had the perfect. I mean, it was everything about, like, they brought his sons out. They were dressed up as the Wolfpack Sting, and then you had the Surfer Sting, and it was a cool moment. They won the tag team. They retained the tag team championships rather, and or they won them, and then they
vacated them.
Yeah. Then they had to vacate them, and we had a tournament, and then the Young Bucks won that. But yeah, he doesn't need to wrestle again. We've moved on from Sting. As great as he is, as fantastic as he was, I don't want to see him wrestle. I feel like that would diminish that whole retirement ceremony. And I will admit I'm a little biased in that because I was there for it and in person, and it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen wrestling wise. Just in person, it was just so well done, and I don't want him wrestling again to kind of diminish that. And I feel like that's exactly what will happen.
All right, I agree. I say not cool.
That's not cool.
But I think it's going to happen. Ric Flair had the greatest retirement send-off of all time, where he wrestled, in everyone's opinion, the two GOATs, Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, before giving him Sweet Chin Music, looked him dead in his eyes and said, "I'm sorry," and then kicked him in the face and pinned him. Probably one of the most heartbreaking, heartwarming, any type of moment ever in wrestling. That dude has wrestled 1,000 times since. So wrestlers are fickle. Fans and wrestlers, he'll wrestle again, probably in AEW, but I still say not cool. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Next one.
All right. Let's do I wrote down 5.
Ooh.
Let's go back to Christian Cage. So cool or not cool, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage reuniting and closing out their careers as a tag team.
Cool. Super cool.
That's cool.
I'm sad, though, that they won't have the Dudleys and the Hardys, as they all have gone the WWE route, it looks like. But super cool. I think that's the plan. I think that's been the plan since day one, and why Adam Copeland, who hopefully won't jump off of cages directly on his feet anymore, moving forward. But yeah, I think that's how it is. I say cool, but I think Christian Cage needs his title run beforehand. He deserves it. He's only getting older, although it looks like he's Benjamin Button. He's getting younger. But yeah, I say championship. After he loses that, let's see them tag team up and I want him to end as a babyface. So yeah, I say tag team, end on a positive.
I would love it if they get Jack Perry and Luchasaurus back together as Jurassic Express, and then Edge and Christian, because Christian started off with Jurassic Express when he came to AEW. So I'd like to see that. But yeah, I think it should happen. I was against it at first. I was like one of the few people that didn't want to see like a TLC 3 or TLC 4 between the Hardys and the Dudleys and ENC immediately when he joined AEW. But now that they've been there a little while, and I know Adam Copeland's hurt, but I'm kind of for it now. I just didn't want to see it with because they were going to do some extreme stuff, and these guys are way too old. We saw what happened to Adam Copeland when he jumped off a table, so I didn't want that to happen. But I want to see Adam Copeland and Christian back together for one last run before they both hang it up.
Yeah, and he jumped off a cage.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
not a table.
Not
through a table.
He
decided to land on his feet instead of just landing on him. Yeah. All right. Last one. It's a good one. Dr. Britt Baker, D.M.D. D.M.D. goes to WWE as soon as that contract is up. I don't know if it's 2 months, a year. I feel like it's coming, if you know what I mean. Britt Baker goes to WWE. I was going to say with Adam Cole, but I think they're not together anymore. But I think they're both ending up back there. But what do you think? Britt Baker goes to WWE. Cool or not cool?
You're going to be surprised.
That's not cool.
I am surprised. I thought it was going to be the first cool.
Yeah. No, I don't think so, man. I feel like if she went to WWE, I think she would be great there. Don't get me wrong, but she'd be in there with Rhea Ripley. She'd be up there with Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair. I feel like she would just be another woman on the roster there. You have Nikki Cross coming up the ranks. You have, a lot of these. You have the whole Pure Fusion Collective, and they're moving up the ranks. And so yeah, and Nia Jax is doing her thing. Bayley's doing her thing. Tiffany Stratton. So the women's division in WWE is thriving. You have Roxanne Perez in NXT. I feel like Britt Baker would just be another woman there, and kind of like she would have it'd be kind of like she'd have a couple of great moments, maybe have a WrestleMania moment or something, and then she would just kind of I don't want to say fizzle out, because I think she would be a mainstay, but I don't think she would be the girl. Whereas I think she can be the girl in AEW and really help boost that women's division to a whole nother level. So yeah, I see why she would want to go to WWE, but I just I don't know. I feel like she's better in AEW.
So I like your defense. I dig it, but I'm still gonna say cool. She needs to go to WWE.
That's cool.
2 reasons. One, she's been wanting to prove herself, obviously, if she is that woman. And she picked Sasha Banks, and that match was atrocious. Number 2, the way they did her. She is the face. She's the Charlotte Flair of AEW. They had her come back and job in an awkward match with truly no real obvious she lost, and she didn't even have a comeback at Dynamite. We didn't even talk about Mercedes Moné's awful Dynamite thing, but
yeah,
you had her lose to Mercedes Moné, the most not over. I don't know what Mercedes has over Tony Khan's head, but it's atrocious. I would have taken that belt away from her just for the fact that what has she done for AEW? Literally nothing. Take that belt off her, rebuild her. But they didn't. And in my opinion, Britt Baker should have been like, nah, I don't like this. I'm out. You haven't used me in the last 8 months. Then you come back and then you have me just lose to Mercedes Moné, who's like the most not over wrestler right now. No, thanks. I'm out of here. So she could do better in WWE, even if she is buried a little bit. I think she would be a big time deal in some way. The women's division still needs. I mean, look at SmackDown. Who's leading over there? So I mean, she could have some spots. I would say bring her to WWE. I think it's cool.
Yeah. I think it would be good for her, but I think I'm not in her brain. But if I feel like would I want to be the girl or would I want to be a girl? And I think I'd want to be the if that's what they promise her when they do negotiations in AEW. If they say, hey, we're going to build this whole thing around you, come back to us. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I could see her going to WWE for sure.
Yeah. I mean, she will one day. Yeah. All right. That's our segment of the week. Are you ready? We're going to close it out how we always close it out. And that is with our LVDs and MVDs, the least valuable dude or dudette of the week in AEW and the most valuable dude or duet.
I got some sound for it.
Dude.
I love it. Best thing. Basketball. If you guys haven't seen it, go see it. Go see it. We always start off with the negatives because we want to end off with the positives. So let's go. Least valuable dude or dudette. Ryan, who is your winner of the week?
So I'm gonna give it's a dudette, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Saraya. What have they done with this girl? I mean, she hasn't done anything, and I feel like she was like the other big deal that came to the women's division just last year at Grand Slam, or maybe the year before, and they have not done anything with her. And she was in a fatal 4-way last year with Toni Storm, with Britt Baker, with I think Jamie Hayter was in that match as well for the AEW Women's Championship, and now she's not even on the card this year. She's been in that weird love triangle thing with Ruby Soho for a while before she got pregnant, and now she's doing stuff with Harley Cameron, but they're like trying to redo the Outcast, but Harley Cameron's not an outcast, and
Mm-hmm.
and then she didn't even make it on the like Jamie Hayter's return was done on the pre-show, not as the opening segment of the main show, but on the pre-show, with Saraya coming out being all upset that she's not on the card and everything, and then on Dynamite this week she didn't really do much, and I don't know. I just feel like if anyone's going back to WWE, I could see it being Saraya.
Yes, please. She's fine too. Didn't she win the title last year at All In? I thought that's when she won it.
She did.
She beat Toni Storm to win it, and then she lost it like 2 days later. That's a good person. Yeah. Poor Saraya. And once again, the least valuable has nothing to do if we like them or don't like them. It's how they are booked. With that said, my least valuable, you ready? It is a dude, and that dude is Swerve Strickland.
Oh, okay.
That's right. And not because of who Swerve is, because I think Swerve is the hottest thing going on in AEW, excuse me. And I think he had the second greatest title reign ever. I mean, it's debatable if this is as good as Kenny Omega's. Definitely better than MJF. But this man has a grueling match, loses to a guy who needs neck surgery, and is probably going to retire because he doesn't have it anymore. He lost clean to this dude. Then, Hangman Page helped. Yeah. Hangman Page helped. So then the following night or whatever, the following Wednesday, Hangman Page is cutting a promo and he comes out with no urgency. His music hits and he's just posing, hanging out, and Nana's dancing the whole way down, but trying to be serious. Gets in the ring. Is he going to punch him? Is he going to hit him? Is he going to tell him how he feels about costing him that darn title? Nah, man. He comes out and says, yo, I lost. The end. No big deal.
Yeah.
At least I'm always considered a champ, bro.
Yeah, what's up with that? Yeah.
But you keep getting in my business, so let's have a match in the cage, huh? And then Hangman's like, I have to leave. And that's
be right back, guys.
One of the dumbest things I've ever seen. You just had a guy have a phenomenal title reign and you took it away from him just to push somebody who's retiring to only have him not give a shit. Like, I get in AEW now that we don't get instant rematches. That's obviously a WWE thing. That's not an AEW. You have a title and you lose it. Sorry, brother, you done. Which I respect. That's fine. But at least have him come out and say, yo, dude, I don't care what our past is. I'm going to bust your teeth in right now because you cost me my damn title shot. I was a champion. Now I'm not that. You're not thankful for being a champion once. I don't know. Yeah. Nothing against Swerve. His booking has always been kind of everywhere. I don't know. To me, he's the LVD. I think he did not look good this week.
It's a solid pick. That promo exchange was weird. I like what they're doing with Hangman Page. And I do kind of like that we're supposed to be booing Swerve, but we're actually cheering Swerve because he's technically the bad guy in this whole thing. And Hangman's supposed to be technically the good guy, even though he's the heel. So I do kind of like that whole dynamic. I am glad, though, that we're finally getting a match between these two guys because I feel like they've been kind of at each other's throats for the last few months. And now we get to settle it in a cage. But yeah, the delivery and the urgency, and we talked about it earlier with emotion, right? Like there's no emotion from Renee Paquette about what her husband's doing, and there's nothing from Bryan Danielson about Jon Moxley doing his thing. Nothing about for the rest of the BCC, like questioning what's going on with Mox. Like, have we talked to him? Why does he want to talk to Darby Allin? And the same thing with Swerve, right? Like, there's no urgency from MJF had the most emotion of anybody on the whole show.
Only person.
He was the only one. He was like, I'm pissed off. I have a horrible headache. I don't want to be here. So please shut your mouths. Like, I want something from Swerve. At least have some emotion. And he had a little bit, but like he still can't be all like, hey, I lost the belt because of you, but I'm grateful to have been a champion, and I'll go down in history as a great champion. Like, nah, bro, you should want to kick your teeth in, and like they shouldn't have even talked. They should have just fought.
Yep,
I would have been fine with that.
Yep, and then they announce afterwards that it's a cage match at All Out. And it's same thing, Chris Jericho. I lost the Hook. He deserves it. Good job, Hook. Like, what the what's happening? Do you not care? Anyway,
you owe me money.
Right. Yeah. So stupid. All right, let's end on a positive. The most valuable dude, our dudette. Who do you got, and why is it Mercedes money?
It is not Mercedes money. I can promise you that. But mine is a dude, and I think it's an obvious. But I'm gonna go Bryan Danielson. The biggest moment, if it is the biggest moment of his career. We can debate that. I don't have
No,
a problem.
we cannot.
I don't have a problem with him saying it because we talk all the time about how we're tired of people bringing up the WWE every turn, and so yeah, I didn't want him to go out there and be like, this is greater than WrestleMania on TV. Like I didn't, so I am glad to put that he's putting his company over. He may not really mean that. I don't think he does.
No, he does not. No.
But either way, he won. He's never held a title in AEW. He's had many chances. He's gone after MJF. He's had great matches with Kenny Omega and bangers with Adam Page, bangers with MJF, and he's done some fantastic things. The match with Will Ospreay was great, and so but he's always come up short, and he's done his job of putting younger talent over, and now he is his like I said earlier, his hard work's finally being paid off. And he's going to have a champion, probably his only championship reign in AEW, but I think he deserves it. And curious to see where it goes. Curious to see who ends up part-timing him and taking the belt off of him. So yeah. I am digging Bryan. I mean, if it is the biggest moment of his career, which he says it was, then he's got to be the MVD.
Yeah, good pick. Good pick. I like it. I like it a lot. My MVD is going to the one, the only. Ba-na-na-na. Da-na-na-na. Jack Perry. And yes, I know his match was one of the worst matches, and I know we're disappointed by the outcome of him being it, but this man on Saturday or Sunday beat Darby Allin, who was the number one contender for the world title, buried his ass, had Sting be so upset that he came out of retirement to try to get at him and still couldn't get at Jack Perry. Then he followed that up with cutting a promo and attacking the world champion, thus earning himself a title shot while he's still the TNT championship. That's winning, bro. No matter what you want to say, no matter if you're saying Tony Khan's trying to shove him down our throats, it is cool. Thank you. Well done. I'm just saying, man, that dude is winning no matter the reason, if it's for Punk or no matter what. Dude, Jack Perry, my MVD, good for you. Whether I think it's smart booking or not, bro, can you win any more than that? I don't think so.
No. Yeah. And to top it all off, I don't know if you saw on Collision or Dynamite, one of those, because we didn't do an episode last week, which, but he built that TNT championship. Yeah. He
super cool.
Yeah. That was really, and like they showed him like soldering it together and melting, like putting and dipping it into paint. And it was really cool to see how all that was done. But yeah, man, like from where he was last year to where he is now, he's in world title contention. He's a main eventer. He is in probably the biggest story in AEW, the biggest faction in AEW. Yeah, it's good stuff for Jack Perry. And this was a good week. I mean, he did everything he was supposed to do. He won, and now he's getting a title shot. So, we'll see what happens. Hopefully this match with Danielson doesn't kill his momentum, and he can kind of continue going strong because he's super strong right now.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm assuming CM Punk will interfere. All right.
That's what they're building to, man. Yeah. All out 2025.
Right. Whoop. That's our AEW weekend review, man. Good job. Loving it.
Dude.
Love it. They legitimately are arguing, and then they realize their argument by just saying the words dude. They understand each other. It's genius.
They had an epiphany. Yeah.
Around the jacuzzi because he has like a Playboy. Anyway, great movie. If you haven't seen it, Basketball, I would check it out now. I think it's streaming. But anyway, all right. With that said, good episode, good week. I look forward to next week, man. Like I said, tune in to this Saturday and Sunday. We might do a watch alongs for the PLE. So subscribe. So that way you'll turn those alerts on, notifications. So that way you get the button. You're doing one. Yeah. That way you see us. If you just want to hear my beautiful voice and see this beautiful bearded Jack Perry face, you can hit me up at HBD Denton on all social media outlets. And just so you know, can't feel my fingers.
I'm going to have sounds on that next week. I'm going to have that as a sound. And I think he took his wallet.
And with me, as always, is the man with the plan.
Ryan enjoys wrestling. Go hit me up on all the social platforms. Go follow us on TikTok at 2 Dudes with Attitudes. We will, now that we're back to a regular schedule, we're going to start doing more exclusive TikTok content. So stay tuned there. Go follow us on X at 2 Dudes PC, and then subscribe to the YouTube. We are live today, so make sure you hit the follow button on Twitch as well. we're also on audio and Spotify. So go download, go give us a 5-star rating and review, download us, subscribe there. And every little thing is an algorithm. So the more love we get, the higher up we rank. So help us crack the code to get us into the top echelon of wrestling podcasts, because we're the best unknown wrestling podcast out there. I say it every week, but 2024 is going to be the year of the dudes. We've had a fantastic year so far, and it's only going to get stronger as we close out the year.
True that. Shout out to Wrestling Figure Galore. Our dude always posts.
Yeah, he's our fan.
Listen to us on lunch break. So props out to you, TikTok follow. But yes, sir. All right.
Shout out to Rich Latta, our rapper extraordinaire who writes all of our songs. Tony Khan, use Rich Latta's song as Marina Schaefer's entrance if you're going to push her. So that's what I want.
Let's do it.
There he is.
We out.
It's the two dudes and the attitudes ruthless, aggressively speaking. So let's do this. We're Bryan and Denton, they here to get your attention. A 5-star broadcast shit, start to the ending. Whether it's the E or it's all E, the two dudes with the attitudes that bring the heat. Get the point, yeah, it's on, time to lock in. Listen to the podcast where they get it poppin'.